The views, comments, and opinions of the following program do not necessarily reflect those of Morris Media Studios, MorrisMediaLive.com, or its affiliates. Listener discretion is advised.
Sports. The Dallas Cowboys drop. The Steelers lose 30-33. What a tough. Ugh. The Vikings also take a loss, 10-24, and the Raiders.
They put up a fight though.
Was that what that was?
There's a lot of points they gave up.
And for you Packers fans or Cardinal fans, 17-20.
Count it.
Yeah. That got on fire.
Bron James. Let's go. In the paint. Count that.
Toronto.
And this is Sports Collective TV. So we want to thank you for listening in today. As always, we have a very spectacular show for you. Shouts out to my man Fredo for the video of the highlights that we're going to be talking about today. If you're interested in those highlights, we're going to take care of that about at the bottom of the hour. So about 5:30, 5:35, we're going to do the sports highlights. And we got a very special guest here that we're going to interview in a few minutes to talk about his basketball league, the Christian League, Playing for Eternity. And I think that's, I want to say, more than near and dear to my heart because spirituality is important.
Yes.
And so to have that as a mixture of sports, and we talk about life in basketball and life in sports, I mean, it all plays a part to me. So,
man, I think the league was wonderful, man. I was doing research on it. Christian, we need God in our life. So I think that's real big, man.
Yeah, me and your guest was in the, this is Cali Sportsman once again. Always hollering at folks, but it is special. It's I call it a more humble game. You do get, when we played in the Christian League in Arizona, it was just you pray before the game. It's a brothership, it's a fellowship, but we also athletes and we want to win and want to play. Things do get a little rowdy, but I think it's that Christianity that kept a lot of fights that could have happened in a basketball gym down. And then not only that, you get to interact with the church. So if you don't have a church home, so the Christian groups offer, I think, much more than just basketball. Sometimes it could be family changing for you.
Welcome, world. This is Double O here. So you were speaking about spirituality, right? Yeah. And that has a huge part in sports. I remember when, was it Phil Jackson, that he started to really change things up with having, what is it called? Like they used to do meditations, during practices where it would just be silent. They would just kind of like meditate. Yeah. And so some people might look at it as like that's a waste of time, but it's like really it's about connecting the team, connecting the players,
spirit,
exactly
body. Let me ask, I'm speaking on that, Leon. You got your African shirt on today. So speaking of Africa, I would imagine with like all the countries, there's a certain preparation. Like here in America, we know to just put a headset on. Yeah. Ferran always asks, so what's on your head? What's on your playlist? Other countries, is there other ways people prepare for a basketball game?
No, they're very spiritual. In Africa and my country, Belize, it's very spiritual. We pray before games. So God is in people's life. So, but in Africa, it's like very spiritual. Like, we pray, we come together as one, and play basketball. So
here in the U.S., we acknowledge the military.
Yeah, that's
No, that's true. Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, always get a free hot dog. Yeah,
It's not about the hot dogs, yo. But so we got again a very spectacular show for you. Make sure you stay connected with us at Sports Collective Media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. You can go there and do all the research. Before we take this break, how you guys' week? weekend, man?
I had a good week. Smooth jazz and that. Had a good week, man. Worked out. Got back in the gym.
Yeah.
Got back focused, man. So
you need to put them on your head.
Yeah, got back focused. Yeah.
They call bite the mic in radio.
See, he got
Radio
the fresh
101 is you bite the mic. You bite the mic.
Yeah,
so the clarity for all the mumbles and the jumbles, you know people know what you're saying.
Yeah, but nah. This weekend got back in the gym. Got back focused. In tune with myself. So that's what I've been doing.
So for me, I mean, we got AskIlya.com all the time looking for urban opportunities. We got Morris Media Studios if you're looking for a podcast. We want to shout out Morris Media Studios who had a great podcast training, awareness, teaching people. I was sitting in the other room and the presentation was just real strong. A lot of information given to help someone who wants to learn how to do what we do, which is kind of the next thing since sliced bread that's coming. So if y'all want to do it and y'all want to be the next thing, you want to come to Morris Media, give us a call. Go to Morris Media Live and you can see some of the shows. We also got a toy drive in the city of Inglewood, 9300 Crenshaw Boulevard, Holy Trinity Church. You can look up the website, right? But there's really, to be honest, throughout all the council people in the city of Inglewood. So if you live in the city of Inglewood, all the district council people have a toy drive on a certain day. Between the 8th and the 15th, including the Salvation Army. And then, of course, the Lions, I want to shout out to them. So if it's that time of year, we want to just let you know if you want to give. I also think of the older kids, the kids that don't,
That's
think of the toys and the bikes.
We focus on the 13 to 17.
Yes, we want to focus on the older kids, give them a gift card so they can go holiday shopping afterwards or take someone out to eat or what have you. So it all makes a difference. That's what we want to do and, make a difference in our community. We're going to put a meter next week to kind of just see how much money we raise and how many kids we help, so people understand that it's not like, and it's real talk. When I worked for KJLH, Stevie Wonder had kids write letters into the station and then he appealed to those letters. It was a true fundraiser. I think about all the thousands and thousands of kids here in LA he helps. So we want to make ours a true fundraiser as well. And we are tied here together with Morris Media Studios.
Yes. What's up, X's and O's, man?
Well, my weekend has been good. Yeah. I mean, the same can be said for Kareem Hunt, right? Man. It was like he was practicing and then out of nowhere he gets fired, And don't get me wrong, what he did was wrong. Yeah. But this is something I want to talk more about, how we hold our athletes to really, really high standards that we don't hold other people in other positions.
But if you listen to his interview, it's real candid about how he said he could have diffused it, how he couldn't have this escalated. But then the other conversation was that he didn't have no conversation with the NFL in regards to this incident. So it's a lot of integrity in this whole story based on him as an athlete because he's suspended for the whole year now.
Yeah, but they asked him what happened. He said it was nothing. That's when they asked him.
Well, there's two questions. Did he ask him, or was there never no conversation? We can banter that. I've heard two interviews. One where he asked him, or they say he asked, and his interview where he said, "No one from the NFL asked me about the incident." So it was two interviews.
But his team asked him what happened. He said, "Oh, it was just we just had an argument." And then when the tape came out,
it was beyond an argument.
You always got those sucker players going to sell you out. I want his position.
Spencer Ware wasn't saying nothing until he got position.
All right, so we're going to do that NFL, that basketball highlights at the bottom of the hour, probably about 5:35. So we're going to take a break and then get started with the interview. And get any questions, 323-293-3375. Shout us out. What's the count?
The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your health care. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
It's 3-on-3.
Man.
All right, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. I'm your host and moderator. I'm Ferran, aka WDC. Again, I want to thank you so far for listening in. If you want any information about sickle cell trade, go to WDC Radio on Instagram, and you can follow along and get your information there. We've been doing this segment for basketball since 2016. Cali Sportsman had a great segment for it called Chasing the Hoop Dreams.
Yeah.
Don, you're here providing that hoop dream for a lot of guys in the community. So, especially from the spiritual aspect, I think most people don't really understand that even if it's not Bible principles that they're looking for it in Buddhism, or because we're spirits, we're spiritual beings, so the spirit's always going to look for something
to latch on
to. Exactly, right? So introduce yourself, man, and we'll get started.
My name's Don Wyrick. I run a sports ministry called P4E, Playing for Eternity Sports Ministry, and we've morphed into a basketball ministry. We used to do volleyball, and that'll be in the works, but our basketball league's blown up.
Yeah.
Our open league is one of the best leagues in SoCal, and we also run a secondary league for everybody else. And we have guys that play overseas, Canada, China, Mexico, and we had a couple NBA guys.
Okay.
Montrez came through from the Clippers this season and this summer. So it's just morphed in, but we're more than just basketball.
All right. So give us some background. Who was Don growing up, man?
Don was sports, and then sports all day. Basketball, baseball, volleyball.
Mm-hmm.
In high school, I started playing water polo and played that in college, and had a chance to play, at UMass. Turned it down.
Why'd
decision
you turn it down?
At cold. I don't do cold. So
you don't do cold?
I don't do cold. I was supposed to be at Long Beach State too, but schooling and things changed, and I was lost. So I had my fall. Made some bad decisions and almost committed suicide, and wanted to commit suicide. And was
that based off the not going to the athletic route?
Yeah, not knowing where my life would be without sports.
Man.
Or now that I wasn't going to play professional and stuff like that. And so when I had my fall and depression, and I was just done.
Yeah.
3 hours later, I accepted Jesus in my heart.
No kidding.
And that was June 2nd, 2006.
Wow. So. Did your family background have spirituality in it, or
there's also always a sense of belief in God, but only talk to God when things are bad.
Right.
Last resort. That's all I really known. But I'm a stubborn person. My family's stubborn. That's our strength and our weakness.
Exactly,
and we could do things on our own. And God pretty much had to let everything go, lose everything, so I could rely that I need to rely on Him and only need Him.
Man.
And then He's given me everything back and then some.
So were you chasing professional sports in any opportunity? Because you played multiple sports. It was
in high school, college, I played semi-pro baseball, independent ball. But then I made some bad choices.
Yeah.
And that cost me some opportunities and some things that could have happened. And so then I started going into the coaching route and started coaching, blowing up, and then
so that kept you connected.
But I was still lost. And I didn't know I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't want to go to school. My dad passed away, and
so a lot
things
of life,
were just falling apart
and
no direction. No direction at all.
What was the age when you just figured it out? Like besides basketball, like what was your second part of your life? Like
June 1st. 2006, I say, is my worst day of my life. So I was, 27.
Okay.
And then June 2nd, 2008. Just a couple hours later, it was my best day of my life.
And what had you go that, you know, the spiritual route? Some people are waiting for God to like open up the sky and just be like, okay, now, you know, what
when I was laying on the floor, I had gotten jumped and bloody on the floor. No one knew where I was.
Wow.
I didn't have a phone or anything. So I didn't know anybody's phone number because who memorizes phone numbers? Yeah, cell phone. So I didn't have my cell phone, so, you know, I didn't have that. So I couldn't even contact anybody if I could. So I was laying on the floor, not just contemplating suicide. And I actually asked God to allow me to die here.
Wow.
Let no one find me. I'm done. A few hours later, I started talking to him and just saying, hey, Lord, just get me through the weekend. Then I'm good. Yeah. Then I can take care of the rest. He got me through the weekend, but Monday I was like, I still need you.
Yeah.
And that's been every day of my life since then.
Wow. Man, that's big. That's a beautiful story, man.
You look.
I mean, you know, I was actually on my phone being rude, but I heard everything. I'm trying to figure out Facebook Live. I don't know nothing about that. But it's just amazing how God comes in everybody's life a different way.
Yeah.
You know, normally we hear the story of, you know, somebody has something real tragic or bad. You know, I mean, you pretty much had it good as an athlete. You know about good eating and you know about good living. You know, it's just something that's in every character that we deal with, and we don't hear it from your perspective that much. You kind of hear it more from people who went through something extremely tragic to kind of find God, you know?
Yeah, and everybody's testimony, that's why I say you can't argue with one's testimony because you didn't live it.
Yeah.
So the only person that could talk about it is that person.
Yeah.
And everybody's testimony is different. You know, I had a good family. They weren't a good marriage, but they took good care of us.
Yeah.
We didn't have much. But we never went without. They went without. So growing up, I could play sports, and you know, we didn't have the luxuries of life, but we weren't hurting, and we would get through it. But there was something missing always.
When you look back now, what do you see was missing when you look back
God.
now? Really,
God. If our family had God, the marriage probably would have worked. Yeah. It would have worked. Not probably. That's right. They would have saw love in each other through God.
You know, someone just told me most recently, and, you know, I'm kind of banged up in a lot of different ways, and they said, if you be around someone, and if you tell them something that is going on with you, and they immediately wants to pray for you, those are the persons that you want to have in your company.
That's true.
So it's like a difference. Some people say, well, hey, you got a headache, just take this aspirin, or, you know, you got a headache, let's pray, you know, just, you know, let's do something natural, you know. And I kind of thought about that, like, you know, stuff be happening, and then you be talking to people, and you listen to their response, and it's like, maybe I should never told that person. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. People have bad advice for you. That's real.
Well, if that's their response, that means they really do care about you, because they're going to lift you up to the Lord, and they won't just do it then. Yeah. They're going to do it the next day.
Right.
A lot of people will say, you know, I'll pray for you, but when are they going to pray for you? Let's pray right now.
Yeah. So you obviously, from me, learning the difference between religion and relationship, the principles are really the key to all of it. So what did you take away or start to use in those principles?
Well, I always tell people I'm not religious. Mm-hmm. I'm a Christian.
Man.
And I think religion and being religious get in the way of your personal relationship with Jesus. Yeah. And that's the first and foremost. If Jesus isn't first when you wake up, every moment of your life, then you're not doing it right. Mm. The religion and the denominations and that just gets in the way.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, so when we were talking outside before this, and he called this a Christian league, I was like, yeah, that's right. We're not, because a lot of people will call us the church league. Especially around the basketball circuit, the pro-am circuit. They'll say, "Oh, you know, Don runs that church league." I'm like, no, I don't run a church league.
Right. And what the first thing I said, we play at the normally because they've known as historically, like if you play in the Christian league, even though they call it the Christian league, it's a church affiliate.
It has a gym.
Yeah, it has a gym. We gonna play. We gonna get free lunch. We gonna get something. There's something happening. They got a bus we can take.
Yeah. We're a nonprofit, so we're not associated to any church. Right. You know, we're designed to bring the church to them.
Yeah.
A lot of our guys, especially in our Monday league, they don't go to church.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they're the only church. We're the only church that they'll see.
Yeah.
So we go to them, and so we're not. I fight the word church league.
Yeah.
I'll tell people, no, we're not. We're Christian league, and because there's a lot of bad context in church.
Of course.
So do you get the, like, because when I first heard it, when you said it, you the Christian league. Do you get that?
Like
to where, and then you
downplays?
just whooped them like by 30?
No, for real. We get that all the time. They were like, that's just a small church league. But then when they come play,
It's basketball.
they're not in the top four.
Basketball.
We had two teams this summer that they were that. I'll just play in that small church league.
Yeah.
They didn't even
Small
make
church
they didn't
league.
make,
Give you
they
two
lost
words,
the first round of the playoffs.
No, but that's what they think, though. They don't know y'all competitive. Like, it don't matter if it's a Christian league, but it's still basketball.
That was the purpose of starting the whole thing. And, when we first started was, the pastor was like bugging me about starting sports ministry. I'm like, I'm not that dude. I don't know the Bible. I haven't read the whole Bible from back to front, front to back. And, it was just... But it kept morphing and morphing, kind of like we were talking about on the show.
Right.
And the design was to prove that Christians can be competitive. You can play basketball,
you can
play competitive, but you don't have to fight. You don't have
to argue.
You don't even have to cuss.
Yeah.
And
they need y'all at Venice Beach.
we played this summer. Yeah. So
I need a whole just read everybody to this Sunday. We got the small Christian church folk coming out.
We actually played this summer. So we have a collaboration with them, and we'll probably be out there this summer and just.
And you want to talk about Alfredo up there? Let's let him know, because he's seen the LABC league. He kind of liked that piece. So we all here in one village.
Play-by-play for the LABC.
Yeah, that's how I found y'all.
Yeah,
and my boy Wes was on the show, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
So
I want to go back.
Yes, sir.
About like your religion. So when I was in Africa, man, I remember I've been like all around the world places, but when I got to Africa, that's when I realized how you put God first, your wife, your kids, and then everything else
the order.
But I realized that like it did change my life. Like when I was in Africa, like me and my friend Mark Hill, like it really got you to a level in your life. You understand God is real. I always knew God was real when I was young. I always knew that. But because certain things happened in my lifetime, friends, and I grew up with people. I'm one of the lucky ones. But when I got to Africa, that's when I realized a whole lot of things. Like, this God is real.
Yeah, I kind of want to share this. There's 2 seconds, but it's. I grew up in church, Christian Church of God in Christ. And when my grandmother died, she said, dying is not so bad if every day you live and get to heaven.
Man.
Right? Mm-hmm. So she says, I love you very much. I would love for you to get to heaven, but I can't get you there. Mm-hmm. Right? So then she said, you think about it. If paganism is so bad, then why is there's over 1 million Buddhists? If there's, if Jehovah's Witness got a certain level of so many people going to get to heaven, then, all those are just categories. It's the relationship you have with Jesus, God, what have you. Yeah. And I think that's what makes it all simple for me. And that's what has made it simple for me through all these years, is that I ain't got to worry about no church or nobody. Whatever I'm dealing with, there's one person that I could talk to that's going to satisfy that need. Yeah. So,
yeah. And, people, like I say, if you're willing to hear me out, I'm willing to have a conversation with anybody.
Right.
So we've had Muslims play in our league. One of the biggest moments in our whole ministry, life of the ministry, is, besides being on the show, is a Muslim shared a prayer request.
So do you deal with that aspect too? When people say you Christian and, I'm Catholic or I'm something else, do you deal with that kind of sarcasm in regards to your play?
Catholics are still Christians, but They do, they'll do the sign of the cross and stuff like that. And I don't tell them not to. Yeah. We're not here to judge, but we will be praying in the name of Jesus before and after. And the Muslim, the guy that was a Muslim, and we've had a few, but they know they have to be within the circle. Mm-hmm. They don't have to close their eyes. But by the end of the season, his mom was dying and was going to die, and he shared the prayer request. And he knows we're praying to Jesus, not Allah. And
it's like military. As a military chaplain,
really,
you've got to be able to interact with all different backs of religion and beliefs, backgrounds. So you can't. As a chaplain, there's no bias. Like, you accept everybody's conversation, but they're trained to communicate with whatever you.
Dialogue is key. You know, like, you know, my pet peeve is when people outside like Staples holding up the signs. You know, you're going to hell if you don't know Jesus and all this stuff. But, you know, that may be true. That is true, but that's not how you get people. Who wants to know a God that starts with hate?
Right.
You know, God, Jesus is love, and everything should start with love.
I mean, that's where I kind of differ, because God deals with hate. So I'm going to just put it more frequently. How is it 80,000 acres burned and then now it's raining? It's like, ain't there is a God? Shouldn't you put some water on that? I mean...
You're going to a level that you're trying to answer some questions.
I'm not trying to answer some questions, but I'm just thinking of, like, you know, when you look at national tragedy. I mean, I know you can think of HAARP, you can put it all kinds of ways. I'm just thinking of God, of controlling the weather in certain conditions, and of course we think of government and different societies controlling weather, but things happen. A lot of people die.
But to me, that's your religious aspect of it, looking at that, not your relationship to God. Yeah. Whatever happens in life happens.
I think that's supposed to happen. I think that's the whole God piece. We all live, we all die. You know what I'm saying? You go on a vacation in India and they have a flood and you die. You die.
We don't know why things happen. Yeah. You know, that's not our job to ask God why. Yeah. We just pray for comfort and support within the situations. Jesus allows free will, and and things happen because humans have made decisions. You know, started with Adam and Eve to now. The fires started because of a human decision. You know, there's a lot of destruction, a lot of hurt, but I don't know how you would get through life without God, without Jesus. You know, my life since I've known Christ has actually been tougher, more death, but that was going to happen regardless.
I kind of look at that as just like eating healthy is more tougher. You know, it's like you live in God's space. You think first from a different perspective. I mean, you think first.
That's what those principles are. Right, because if you live by those principles,
your moral compass comes in way stronger when you live on that other side of the fence.
Man. And that's the only way I got through all those stuff. Right. You know, we went through 3 miscarriages, deciding not to have children. My parents died. My grandparents died. Everybody close to me has died. But if I didn't have God, I would have been done. Yeah.
And you look at those as those, I'm learning now, you look at those as your test of your faith. Because when I collapsed in all my stuff in the military, I'm thinking my life was over, wanting to commit suicide.
So let me say to just break you off a little bit. One thing you never talk about in regards to the military side of just seeing death. He just talked about death. I ain't never lost nobody, a cousin or something, but I ain't never really lost somebody. You see what I'm saying? So I'm speaking from that space. Mm-hmm. You've actually seen people die on, like, taking their life to a whole nother level, and he's talking about his loved ones. Yeah, it's like a whole
because you have to use those principles to shape your relationship to death. We don't get no say so when, how, where people die.
Right. So your whole perspective is completely different than his, who just lost a loved one. Completely different from mine, who never even had that experience at all.
Yeah, but it's still a loss. And it's up to you how you digest it.
But see, they teach you that, how to digest it. He ain't been taught that. He used God as a vessel to be able to channel and how to deal with that. I
wasn't using God to digest mine.
Because the government.
I had to figure out my own way to digest it.
So when you look at guys coming home and they committing suicide and all this, isn't it the way the government kind of trains you to think to kill, but at the same token to deal with death?
Well, of course. That's why I'm not afraid to die. But again, you're talking about me dying versus having a loved one.
But it's a difference in you killing yourself. I mean, we're talking about mental health area. A lot of stuff right now is with high depression, especially around Christmas. And this is you. This is all you. Yeah. So I'm like trying to figure out, like, you talk to your people out there that's dealing with this high rate of thought, but they don't really know how to channel it.
Yeah, because, again, you have to be able to have those principles, live by those principles as an example, and then have a relating this conversation to people.
But that all sounds great and gravy, but you always say the principles, but what if they don't have the principles? Just like you just told me earlier, they don't have, or they don't have that.
Your testimony and your sharing and the references allows them to connect to you. You don't have to force the religion on them or the principles on them.
When we don't shove the gospel down people's throats at our basketball leagues. We build relationships. So we do this. And we want to know, we want them to know that they're loved by us, and they have someone that they have somebody. Because a lot of these people don't have anybody to lean on.
Right.
They don't have God, so lean on us.
And they looking at worldly people that have disappointed them.
And they've been judged. But see, that's where you put your faith in people. You don't supposed to put your faith.
Well, that's why I said when you live by those principles, it's the way the principles are, and society operates is not the same.
Yeah,
and that's where my life.
Man, y'all gonna make me take off my shirt over here. Jesus heated. I'm about to. Should I bring some tamarines?
He said something, but that's true though. People be looking. They live their life the wrong way. Like, they look at these people like, oh, he did it like this, or he did it like this. No.
But you got to understand the demographic of kids as he's dealing with. They come from nothing. They may have a grandmother who got the old Bible. Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But they not going to church on Sunday. No. They not. They don't have no.
They've been judged by church folks.
Yeah, exactly.
So they have a bad taste of church in their mouth. And so we're not going to judge you. We've had guys straight out of prison, with bracelets on. I don't care.
As long as you can ball.
You can ball.
You respect. Ball and don't fall.
Yeah, right. You don't get embarrassed. Like DeAndre Ayton, Holiday got him. But
he threw that out. He kind of threw that out, right?
That was nasty.
Fredo, catch that now.
No, for real. That was nasty. But they have us, and they have people that they can lean on. The first couple weeks. They don't share prayer requests. They don't, they want to be tough. They want to be tough, and they're leaning on something. They're trying to find happiness in ball, drugs, alcohol, weed. Yeah. But when they come to the gym, they know they can lean on us. Yeah. They may not pray themselves, but they'll allow us to pray for them, and then we let God work. And some of our biggest transformations are the worst character guys. Anger, especially.
Yeah. They so angry because they don't have nothing to turn to. So when they come to your league, they have something to turn to.
They're turning to is fighting.
I used to deal with younger kids, and I want to know if it's the same sentiment. So when younger kids, they pretty much got a female in their life. So every reaction on the basketball court becomes emotional. Yes. It's not really thought out and planned. It's like it's it's like it's all I'm quitting. I'm my shoes. I'm all that extra stuff. And then at the end, just like not just be feministic, but just like a female, apologize when I come back. Can I play? Da, 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 da. Is that the same sentiment in your demographic?
We get a lot of it, but like on adult level. So it's exactly and it leads to arguing, cussing, fighting. We've had guys, I'm done with this league, throw stuff, and then 2 weeks later, hey, Don, can I come back?
Right, exactly.
So it's the same, but just different. Times 10.
Like you just need to know if you need to carry a pistol or not.
Hey, I'm covered. So hey, whatever happens. So
meant to be, right?
Right. Hey, as long as we got the one. We're good.
Yeah.
No, but I'm glad you have a beautiful league, man.
Yeah, you did your homework. I seen y'all out there. You like, he's big dude. He like, the Chinese dude. This dude.
Yeah, man, you got to do your research, man.
I looked at a few cats myself. Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? Can I get in?
Research, but all I'm saying,
can I come back?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna get it back.
Hey, we're ready.
No, but what your league is good in the youth, for the youth, not even the youth, this. Older guys with the youth so they can bring their kids to the game so they can see positive energy. Because when you have positive energy, your life is better. Yeah. When you believe in God or have a religion or believe in prayer, you can have somebody to talk to. Because my biggest games, man, I'm going to be real. I used to be, the night before I couldn't sleep, I talk, God, man, big lights. I gotta show out, man. You got to bring it to your dog. I got to bring the dog out of me. So I prayed at night, but I always pray. But when it's tough, I pray. When it's easy, I pray. But you just have to have a ground like a level head, basically. But It's true though.
Yeah, when it's tough, you pray, and when it's good, you praise.
Yeah, man. God is good
just
though.
How
Man.
we do.
He's real though. He's real.
Anything you want to say that we didn't ask questions, or you want to just
not just P4E basketball. We run 3 leagues a year, 3 different January, mid to late April, late August,
and we have an open league. We might as well throw the plug in. So Fredo gonna be doing play-by-play.
Yes.
Hey, we ready?
I send you the package.
So what's the cost, and how can they get in contact with you, or how can they sign up for your league? And
just email me at playingforeternity@gmail.com or Instagram Playing for Eternity, P4E Playing for Eternity Sports Ministry on Facebook. Anywhere, and then
where's located at?
It's located in Downey. We're looking for more gyms.
Oh, but I got to ask the question.
Yes, sir.
Do y'all practice?
Yeah.
Hey, that's in the works.
So do you know what I'm talking about? Because I've already been on this set. And
let him answer. He knows what you're talking about.
We're working on that. Guys come into our league with full teams, so they play in multiple leagues together.
That's true.
They're playing enough, and they played for years together.
Yeah. They friends. They really friends.
And we all have a P4E team that's joining the Pro-Am circuit. We played in some tournaments this year. We played in the Legacy Pro-Am, lost in the championship. We played at the VBL, Venice Basketball League.
Oh, yeah.
Made it to the playoffs there, and then a few, Moneyball tournaments we played in. Just getting the brand out there so we could do more ministry. Yeah. There's a bigger purpose in everything we do, and we're called the Good Guys of Basketball, which I'll take for now. I know what they mean by that. Right. They don't need to say it.
So, what sponsorships you looking at?
Just anybody that's looking to sponsor a good thing.
So maybe I go look at a Bible sponsor or something, make it happen.
So we already talked offline, and he wants to be a part of the show. So
for real, this is like the low, not even low key, but this is like a dream come true right here.
We need a Christian version of what we're doing. Hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah.
Not all that.
I don't know if y'all ready for all that, but yeah, this is you guys. What you guys are doing, this is like one of my dreams.
So look for him because he will be back on Sports Collective TV. So.
Yes. I told him don't play with my emotions.
Nah, not at all. Some of
us
got to
bring some players. If you don't bring no players, he'll be in the parking lot.
Producing and stuff like that. So you'll have a spot, man. Thank you for your time. You're not going anywhere because we got some sports highlights because you got to send you on deal with that, right?
I'm good. I'm ready.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break.
He got
Sports
Collective
TV right here, sportsmedialive.com.
The Consortium of Health and Military Performance, also known as CHAMP, of the Uniformed Services University of Health and Science, known as USUHS, is conducting a study to understand a possible genetic link between sickle cell trait, known as SCT, and exercise-related events, known as EREs, such as exertional rhabdomyolysis, muscle damage, heat stroke, and or collapse. We are inviting African American men and women with sickle cell trait and their family members to participate. Participating in the study will require you to complete a health history questionnaire, a form authorizing our study physician to gather health information from you and your healthcare provider, as well as a one-time blood donation. In order to qualify for the study, you must meet the following criteria: be African American, be sickle cell trait positive, be able to read, speak, and understand English, be between the ages of 18 and 80, and currently not being treated for any mental or psychological disorders. Participation is completely voluntary, and your decision will not impact your health care. The results for this study are for research purposes only and are not intended to directly benefit any individual for confidentiality reasons. However, the results of this study are intended to help better shape policies and associated health risks affecting the SCT community. Participants may be compensated for their time. To join the study, or if you would like additional information regarding the study, please contact the study team by phone, area code 240-479-9514, or email sctstudy-ggg@usuhs.edu.
Here we go. All right. Welcome back to Sports Collective TV.
We back.
Ron, aka WDC. All right, so we've been talking about those highlights you saw at the beginning of the show. I got my man Fredo, who's going to be here on Skype live with us. He's on now, so Fredo, you there?
You got to turn the headset up. What's up?
Fredo. What it do?
Hey, yo, can you guys hear me?
Got you, baby. Come on, bring it. Tell us what's going on.
Hey, man, it's a lot. A lot going on, man. Hey, I'm just.
Are you
by
about
the
to
way,
go
man, you guys
rob
had an
like
amazing
Yum
interview right now.
Yums or something? You
What's
look
up,
like
man?
you about to. You doing a robbery or something?
First and foremost, though, happy birthday to the little one, man. I know you're celebrating that at home. So
happy birthday.
Yeah, my son. He's actually right here, right next to me.
Happy
He's
birthday.
right here. Come here. Say what's up.
Happy birthday.
Hi. So you got him a LeBron jersey yet?
Oh yeah, he got Alonzo Ball T-shirt the other day, and he did just get a LeBron James shirt for his birthday. That's a good one.
All right, so man, let's go down these highlights, man. What you got for us, man?
Man, one of the hottest ones that I thought so far, and I told you guys last week, the Cowboys. Okay. I told you guys about the Cowboys, and I think they're the real deal. Okay. I mean, they surprisingly beat the New Orleans Saints, and that was a big win. I mean, the Saints beat the Rams. And the Rams beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, who's better now? I don't know.
But hey, man, come on, man. You know the Cowgirls, man.
Kansas City, baby. Hey. Come on, man. That quarterback is one of a kind.
Let's not forget, Kansas City beat the Raiders last night.
Yeah,
so let's not forget about that one as well.
But we look at it as a true fight if you're a Raider fan. It's a true fight. It was a true fight.
Yeah.
A lot of people still got drunk regardless. It was a true fight. It was.
That's what they come to town for.
Yeah.
Hey, they scored 30 more points. That's amazing.
Yeah. Exactly. Normally we don't even get team.
Yeah.
So to get 30, that was like, hey, pour more tequila, y'all.
Yeah, that was 4 more shots, right, Callie?
But also, what you got from that game was
we got a caller.
But really quick, what you got from that game was like Rocky 1. You didn't expect anything from the Raiders, and they gave them a fight. You know, at the end they pulled away, but you weren't expecting nothing. I was expecting a blowout, probably like 52-7. And for them to show up, you know, it's good. You know,
the season almost over. That's why they showed up.
But you know the Rams are still the best in the league. Fredo, come on.
Oh, you out of towner. Sit down.
Let's take this call. Hold on.
No,
Let's take the call.
Look.
Call
All right, you're live with Sports Collective TV.
Hey, Fredo, I thought the Vikings were going to make it to the Super Bowl.
Oh, man. Hey, you know what? Look, check this out, Luis.
Here we go.
Look. We were playing the New England Patriots. Come on, you're taking on Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time.
Oh,
and
wow.
I knew going into the game. I knew going into the game it was going to be a tough game.
Take your hands out your pocket. Fredo, take your hands out your pocket.
How are the Vikings making it to the Super Bowl if you're over here blowing up the Dallas Cowboys like
Wow. Okay. Look, the Vikings still have a chance, but hey, the Cowboys are looking very good. Amari Cooper. And Cooper is doing the thing. Zeke's doing it. I'm just saying, don't be surprised if you see the Cowboys in the NFC Championship game. Don't be surprised. I'm just saying that right now. But hey,
Rams and Bears.
Talking about football, Luis, I know you're there. Cali Sportsman, I know you're there as well. But the Raiders, what are they doing this year? I mean, still stuck with 2 wins. You know, we're in week 13 now. 2 wins? Really?
Went for that Bosa boy from Ohio State.
We on our way to Vegas, baby. Don't trip. You're going to be parlaying at the highest level.
Hunt going to get signed in 2 years after he served his 1-year suspension. He's going to open up that Vegas stadium.
Wow.
He's going to have a Bosa on the defensive line.
Oh, my God.
Man, you talk about partying, big dog. I hear you.
Wow. Hey, are we playing football? Are we partying here?
We're going to have lounge chairs right on 50-yard line, just ready. Just relax. Because if you look at it, I mean, everybody that if you look at all the calls, the scenarios with the Raiders, rookie. It's so many rookies on the team.
Yeah, gonna be good.
You can't be mad. Because if they do develop in the next 2 years, it'd be an awesome team. Yeah. If he could keep them.
If they can
He's tearing them out to rebuild. That's what he's saying. They got a good team.
So you got to figure out if they're going to keep Carr or not.
I think that's a go. I think with all the black quarterbacks, and I'm just going to be prejudiced, all the black quarterbacks in the NFL, we need one.
I mean, you got John Gruden for 10 years, so, hey, you got long 10 years to go.
All right, keep moving forward. What else? Give me another one.
We're going to the Lakers?
Man, well,
Bron.
Well, you want to move? You want to talk about some LeBron, man? Hey, honestly, the Lakers have been playing. You're looking at my forehead right now. I got the Lakers up here representing right now. But, hey, the Lakers are doing better than what everybody in the world expected.
That's true.
Everybody's counting them out, and look at what they've been doing so far.
Man,
winning some good games, and it's just impressive what I've been seeing so far.
They haven't been playing better than the Clippers, though, this year so far.
He got a point, though.
Hey,
he got a point.
Hey, you know, I said it last week. The Clippers are fraud. they haven't been playing very good teams. They've been playing mediocre teams under 500.
But they playing hell of a
good
defense.
They play the big team. Wait till they play the big team.
But it don't matter though, because I mean, you look at the Clippers now, just in the state they in, they playing really good defense.
They play hard every game.
They playing defense. That's the whole thing. Is the Lakers? Everybody looking from an offensive level, and that's the problem they've having all the transitions they've been through. We have to. That's why getting rid of David Barron, I was like, that was the only move they had to get to a defensive game. You know what I'm saying? So all these coaches they have are not defensive driven.
That's true. What you got, Oscar?
Clipper tickets are still cheap, even though they're
right. Let's go to a Clipper game right now.
Those tickets are never going up unless they win a championship.
Let's go.
No.
Reasonable prices.
No,
hey, I guess we need to go to a Clipper game.
As far as the Lakers,
we should go to a Clipper game.
The Lakers are good. They're good getting somewhere, but they should have traded everybody for Kawhi. I would have traded everybody but Bron. You have Bron and Kawhi.
Yo, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Everybody play a role because they end up going to get a bunch of somebodies anyway. I mean, you look at all the somebodies they got.
At best, they're going to be Kawhi.
Rondo couldn't make a layup to save his life, and now suddenly he's a super passer, but he dribbled all over the court.
Hey, Rondo will be out by the All-Star break, by the trade deadline. Rondo will be out.
Ball has come together, but like I said in previous scenarios, it's all when you're a shooter, it's all about confidence. You don't got no confidence. His daddy took him out the game.
Should they trade for Beal?
Who?
What?
Ooh.
It depends on who you're giving up.
Ooh, you got to give up two.
Again.
So if you don't have to give up all three guys, then
you got to give up at least two.
Yeah, two I do.
Hey, don't throw it out for Bradley Beal. There's somebody better out there than Bradley Beal.
It's something better out there.
But those guys are going to other teams. Paul George, Kawhi.
Right.
They're all.
But that's year. I mean, what's going to happen? What's going to happen in February? Who's going where? That's
that's the big thing.
That's when the G League cats come on back. Hey.
Oh yeah, that's right.
If you healthy,
right. Whatever we have to do to get AD, we got to do.
Trade everybody except Bron.
What's your thoughts about Melo?
Carmelo Anthony, welcome to the show.
Been in the league since Denver.
Yeah, he's a franchise player. After Denver, he's been a while.
He needs to go to China.
We got another caller.
We got another caller.
All right, caller, you're live at Sports Collective TV.
Oh, for sure. I just want to congratulate Fredo on his sports knowledge. He seems to know a lot about sports, especially basketball. So I got one question. Why are you Carmelo Anthony still on your roster, dog?
Oh, man. Look, check this out. Look,
your nickname is the bye week. How are you benching Curry and Curry's putting up like 20 fantasy points?
That's that fantasy
basketball.
Look,
he's hoping.
Look, it's been tough right now, but on the Carmelo Anthony issue, once Carmelo Anthony gets on the team, which this team, where the team he's going to finish on, he's going to be balling out, and I guess.
You know what?
Hey, how many points is he putting up right now?
You can't even say nothing. You've been Carmelo Anthony out the whole time you've been on our show. Hey, bro, I'm so happy to have y'all who understands Carmelo Anthony, unless he's a guest, shouldn't even be a conversation.
Hey, that's facts.
He's technically not in the NBA.
There's something going on. If you stop Carmelo, come on, give us a scoop, bro.
All right, fellas. Hey, let's wrap it up, Fredo. We're going to take a quick break. So what you got? What's your last piece, man?
Well, man, my last thing, just a surprising one that I know everybody's going to go a little crazy. But the same thing I've been saying. The more I look into the Lakers every single time, the more I believe they will be in the Western Conference Finals, possibly beating the Warriors if somebody else does not beat the Warriors before.
Hang him up.
It is what it is. But LeBron's taking over LA. That's all I got to say.
I mean,
LeBron,
Warriors beatable.
Yeah, they are now. They
are very beatable. Of course they are. So that's what I'm saying. If someone gets them before the Lakers get there, it's game over.
Curry's the key.
KD not happy.
But they was doing well before KD, though. So.
You know what I'm saying? And your other boy, he got mental health issues. I mean, you don't know what may happen with them. You know what
they need to trade Green.
And they get a new stadium next year.
Whatever, Fredo, man. Thanks for your time, man. We appreciate that. We appreciate that intro video, too, man. That's some great work you got going on, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it, guys. Hey, have a good show out there, man. I'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, cool deal. All right, so we're going to take our last break. This is Sports Collective TV. Make sure you shout us out.
Sponsored by AskIlya.com.
323-293-3375. We'll be right back. Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
I'm blessed, my brother. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, did you see the game last night?
Oh, that was a good game.
But did you see the shot?
I lost money from that shot.
Oh, man, that shot was cold, man.
I hated it, but it was good. Damn. What's in those jeans?
You really want to know?
I do.
Exhaustion, muscle spasms, asthmatic issues, unexpected sickle cell trait crises.
Damn. Are you serious? When I was young, I found out I had sickle cell trait. My mom's told me, but I didn't have no knowledge of it. But when I got older, I had a child, and the doctor told me my daughter has sickle cell trait. Do you know the facts that both parents have sickle cell trait? There's a 50% chance the child may have the trait, and 25% chance the child may have the disease.
Hey, that's what's the count. Do you know that 2.5 million people in the United States have sickle cell trait, 300 million people globally? I didn't find out I had sickle cell trait until I was in the Army, 10 years. Next thing you know, I had a sickle cell trait exertion site.
Sickle cell? I thought that was a black gene or something.
Nah, man, the Latin community is number 2. 1 out of 36,000 babies are being born with sickle cell disease. You could be Caucasian, Mediterranean, European. You gotta know your bloodline, man. There is an inherited gene in our community that has been forgotten. The name is sickle cell trait. WDCONSCT, also known as What's the Count, is out to bring awareness, education, and prevention to people all over the globe. Want more information? Call us now at 323-215-5384 or visit www.wdconsct.org.
All right, welcome back to Sports Collective TV. We're about to get into some soccer international talk.
Goal!
So the first thing... yes, goal. Football. Yes, football. So last week we spoke about how the U.S. national team has yet to hire a coach. Mm-hmm. Yesterday they came out and made the announcement that they did hire the person they were seeking out. Columbus Crew manager Greg Berhalter, who they've been seeking for more than a year now. Okay. So I'm at least happy that they found their guy. And I appreciate that they came out and explained the process. A lot of times teams just kind of hire what they hire, but they wanted to explain to the fan base why it took so long.
So now, he's an MLS coach, right?
Yeah. Yes, he's an MLS coach.
So how do you feel about the hiring?
Well, I feel like we still have to see because we've had MLS coaches, and I want to see how he's going to balance because a lot of times MLS coaches focus so much on domestic, yet we have so much talent internationally.
Yeah, that's
true. And when we got Jurgen Klinsmann, when he came in, he focused so much on international soccer, he wasn't given any exactly.
So it's vice versa. It's got to be a mix.
Exactly, it has to be a balance because in the past couple years years, we've lost very talented players to other countries because the way it works is they let you play international, but they let you give you one chance to move to another team. So we've lost a lot of players to Mexico. We lost a lot of players to Europe. Just because they don't like the way the structure is. And you were telling me off the air how we have to structure it from the top to the bottom.
Yes.
It has to be a system thing. We can't just what we failed to do in the past. We focus too much on the now.
Yeah.
And the thing we focus on the now. The World Cup comes every 4 years, and you see teams like Spain, Brazil.
They practice it. They got to get ready.
And they reshuffle. After World Cup, you would have had top-tier talent, and they're bringing in the next generation.
But here's also the thing why it's so important to choose kind of where you pick your next coach from is football is a worldwide sport. People play it everywhere, all different countries, and there's different styles of play. Yeah. Germany, Italy, France, South America, America. These are all completely different coaching styles, different play styles. It's not like basketball or something.
Different leagues,
it's way more diverse in that way. And so you got to really think about, do I want somebody who coached in the U.S. system and how this, league has been building up, or do I want somebody
outside?
Like Jurgen Klinsmann from Germany or from wherever. So that's why I think this was a big one.
How did you feel about the hiring?
No, I think it's good that they hired somebody from the MLS because, let's face it, the U.S. national team, a lot of players come from the MLS. So you want somebody who knows the league, knows kind of the play style and stuff like that. I feel like that makes it better, than bringing in an all-star coach who's been coaching in a completely different system.
And he got an ego, and he be...
Right.
Yeah,
and that's kind of
it's too much of a celebrity thing going on.
And that's kind of what happened with Klinsmann. Klinsmann came... He was Germany's coach, took him to the World Cup. So he obviously played in the top teams. When he comes here... You can tell the way his demeanor was. I felt like he felt he was bigger than U.S. soccer.
But honestly, it always happened like that. Like, some coaches have egos, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, not to get off the topic. Like when a guy come from the overseas coach came to play for Cleveland, what happened? I won this, I won this, I won this, I won that. Bro, we in America right now, bro.
Right.
Let's focus.
Right.
Let's focus. Forget about what you did. We got to win. So you're right.
Yeah, and they got to groom people from the scores.
Right.
Like U.S. like scoring. All the sports are doing scoring. Like 3-pointers from NBA. There's no defense playing in football.
Right.
So like the scorers, when in doubt, groom guys that could just go get it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, not Messi type because Messi's like one,
right.
one out there, but there's scorers out there that could just go get it when things fall out of place.
And one of the things that I did like about the process is they finally hired a general manager. Before it was just the president and the coach, and there wasn't a real structure.
And they going back,
exactly. Now they have someone in position to actually go out and look for talent, right? Just like in NBA, just like any other
NFL,
sport, they go out, they have scouts, and it's something that we need because we lose too much talent between the cracks. A lot of it in soccer, I don't know, like it's not like basketball and football. The scouts go to these programs where a lot of times you have to pay to be there. Right. And if you go to countries like Brazil, Spain, Argentina, the best talent don't go to these programs. They're found in the ghettos, in the slums.
That's true.
Neymar, Messi, all these people came from the slums.
True.
So we don't have a connection where we're connecting our system to some of the worst places here. That's where we're going to get our best talent. That's where we get our best talent from football,
basketball.
Yeah,
that's true.
Well,
that's
and the guys playing overseas, they're playing professionally at age 12, 13,
right.
14. Yeah. Our guys are stuck in middle school, high school,
right.
college.
That's definitely a good point because
they don't get experience until it's too late.
Yeah,
and that's an interesting point because I grew up in Switzerland, right, in Europe, and all these professional soccer teams, they have junior teams. Now, I thought they
have clubs.
Junior clubs. You have under 13s, under 15s, under 19s, and all.
It's like AAU out here, but it's just for soccer.
It's like
one professional
football team in Florida.
Professional coaches, they got doctors.
No,
all that stuff.
Basically, he's saying like in Europe, they train it like you a pro at 11.
Yeah, and we're molding you into that.
And to give an example in basketball, look at Luka Doncic, right? He was playing pro since I think 15, 16.
Yeah,
bro.
And you
he was MVP.
Right.
He was MVP in the Euro top league.
Yeah.
At 18.
Yeah,
18. He was MVP. That's why he's doing the stuff he's doing in the NBA now.
He matured because he was playing with adults
grown
at 16.
Man.
Exactly.
Grown man.
So you didn't get those 2 years of immaturity. He already went past
He's
that.
not playing against his own age. He's playing up.
Grown man. Yeah. And in Europe, like he said, when you play against people older than you, you bring out the best of you.
So the second thing I want to talk about, so this weekend, Mexico Soccer League just had their playoffs, and now they're down to 4. But the reason people are talking about it is 3 out of the 4 teams actually play in Mexico City. So the largest city in the world right now is hosting 3 semifinal games. And so, think about that. Imagine LA, right?
We got 4 teams.
Right.
No, say we have 4.
Let's say in baseball, let's say we had the Dodgers, the Angels, and the Padres in the semifinals for the World Series. You know how hyped SoCal would be? So imagine how Mexico City is right now when it comes to soccer.
It's going up right now.
It's like you're either wearing yellow, you're wearing dark blue and gold, or you're wearing blue right now. And the whole city is lit because one of those teams, Cruz Azul, hasn't won since 97. And so they're one of the biggest teams in Mexican Soccer League. But they've had so many bad finals games. And I know people that watch it, they'll remember, I think a couple years ago, when they were up 2-0 with 10 minutes to go. And not only do they tie it, but the other team scores the winning goal in extra time.
Wow.
So they lose the game in the last 10 minutes.
Man.
And to anyone that's playing the finals, you play a hard game, and just to lose it at the end, that's hard.
Sad. That's heartbreaking.
And exactly. So it's going to be exciting. The 2 games are Wednesday and Thursday. So Mexico City is going to be popping this weekend.
Craig, going up.
So we got last 2 minutes. Can you do your conversation in 120 seconds?
We good, man. I was good. Thank you for being here.
No, touch on the you said that.
Oh, no, on the Alabama.
Yeah, so
we was talking, and I was just saying like how he came in about the Christian League and how God is really real. Mm-hmm. In Alabama, man, it was a guy, he lost his spot, He battled back the whole year, and the same thing happened to him. How he lost his spot, he got a spot back, and he won the game. And he's a legend, man, in my eyes. So.
And people told him why don't you transfer all year long?
Oh my God!
And he didn't. He stuck, practiced hard, like he was a starter, cheered on the starter.
Yes,
and
high character guy.
And now he's a legend in Alabama.
He's a legend.
He could go anywhere and eat for free,
forever.
Like
Andy for to be a top pick in the NFL.
Yeah, he'll be a pro.
He could be a pro. But what I'm saying is, God is real, man. Always work hard. Like I always tell people, work hard, work on your craft, and sky's the limit.
That takes a special character as an athlete, right? To
what?
Be able to
oh my God!
To humble yourself.
And humble yourself, lose your spot, and then you say, get
and
it back.
And still be a high character guy to cheer on your guys and don't have an attitude with it wrong. It's amazing.
The same thing happened to the guy that got hurt. He got out of the injury tent and cheering on his guy.
And
they're both believers.
They're both
not
believers,
by coincidence.
and they both going. One might breathe the Heisman, but the other one going pro this year.
Cool.
So it's good story.
Take us out, man.
All right. Well, this has been Sports Collective TV. Thank you so much for coming on the show. We've had some great topics today. Shout out to Fredo at home for the editing. Happy birthday to the little one.
Yeah, Lewis
Lou up. Spitting the truth today. Lou up a little more truth this evening. But check us out next Mondays at 5. We'll be back here again. Give us a call again, 323-293-3375.
God is good. God is good.
God is love.
See you next week.